Okay, now you're taunting the police. Now they're gonna get your ass now. All right. Before you could say that he had the sympathy of the people, he had my sympathy. I was rooting for bro. I was like, okay, he's talking about something real. He's talking about the corruption of the Louisiana justice system, how they're doing him wrong, and it's kind of exposing this underlying mistreatment of inmates, and it taps into conspiracy and what's going on behind the scenes. People love that. People love that. It's like Robin Hood, the legendary Robin Hood, the legendary Jesse James, the bandit on the run. He had a narrative going. He had a story building. This is not that. This is just, you're taunting the police now. You're taunting the government system. They're going to bury his ass under the jail for this. All talks about what was done to you and your case wasn't handled right and this is wrong. It was just. There was something good about it, because it wasn't about you. He's making this about him. You got fresh clothes on. You got a chain on. You're just bragging. Like, hey, y'all can't catch me. Nah, 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 nah. Now you fucked up. They're going to get your ass. One thing you do not do is you embarrass the judge, the courts, the correctional officers, the police, the U.S. Marshals. Now you're rubbing it in their face. Now they are definitely going to get you. And think about this. Now you're making Instagram culpable in your crimes. You're using their platform to essentially make fun of the justice system. I'm not going to call it the justice, because it's not justice. Let's just call it the system. Let's remove the J word. It's not justice. It's just the system. You don't beat the system. The system beats you. That's why you don't work against it. You work with it. And that's what he was doing. He was working with the people. He had the support of the people. And maybe you did have the eyes and ears and hearts of higher legislation. People that, okay, well, maybe he's onto something. We don't really agree with how he did it, but okay, let's listen. Now, this is just arrogance. Now, here's what he should have done. Here's how he played himself. He could have leveraged his situation like he did the first time, right? The first video, it was exposure. It was corruption. It was something tantalizing and interesting that everybody could understand. It was a story, like, I'm rooting for you. Again, like Jesse James, like Robin Hood. These people are immortalized because they are bandits on the run. But what's the story of Robin Hood? He robbed from the rich to give to the poor. So there was something just in it, something good. This is not just. This is not good. This is arrogance. This is hubris. All right, pride comes before the fall. Here's what he should have done. Here's how he played himself. He already did a brilliant first move. He exposed the video about the paperwork. It was something legal. It was something we could all follow. Now, sure, he may have implicated the people who were helping him. He may have got them kind of caught up, but, that just comes with it. But he could have leveraged that situation, because the first drop was interesting. Like, whoa, okay. So it had us looking at the government as the bad guys. This does not help. What he should have done, if he wanted to keep that story going, was drop another video exposing something. Hey, y'all. Yeah, dog, you feel me, G? This is inmate number, whatever. And he also was going through the situation, because that is like helping others. Yeah, you're on the run, but you're doing good for others. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but you're reinvigorating, you're reviving that old bandit who's doing good for the people sort of thing. But this is just arrogance. This is just flaunting your escape in front of others. Wait, what's going to happen when a judge sees this? Listen, corruption, abuse, you could throw all the words in there. Mishandling of my case, and they're doing us dirty, and there's all sort of evil and under things going on. Okay, I hear you. And there's something good about that, but that's going to come absolutely last. Because think about it. You're making fun of the judge who sentenced you. You're making fun of the police officers who originally arrested you. You're kind of making fun of the victim. You're saying, hey, look, I can go commit crimes, get out, and be perfectly good, and y'all ain't gonna do nothing about it. There's so much insult in this, and that's why he fucked up. He played himself. He really should have leveraged his situation. He had the sympathy of the people. Now he has the ire of the government. It's going to be like, hey, yeah, maybe your case was mishandled, but again, in front of a judge, you're gonna be like, you took a picture with fresh clothes, a gold chain, looking like you're posing for shit, like you're bragging, essentially. So any sort of goodwill that he garnered is gone. It's gone. And you could hear the U.S. Marshal when he was describing it, right? Like he was pissed off. Like you could tell he was like kind of biting his teeth. Like, yeah, we're gonna catch him one way. Like he was kind of like mad about it, and because they are mad, because you're making fun of them. So now you're not demotivating them. You're giving them fire. You're giving them motivation. That is one thing you do not want to do. That's like an art of war move. You do not inspire your enemies. He's gassing them up. He's putting a battery in their backs. He's winding them up. You don't want to do that. One thing that you do not do is you make fun of the American justice system. Let's go back to another example, right? Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden, he made the entire American government his ops. That's why he's hiding in Russia. You better be hiding in fucking Russia because that's the only people that will harbor you. And Russia's not exactly the allies you want. Obviously, it's a non-extradition company or non-extradition country. So if he wants to be safe, he needs to catch a flight and get the fuck out of here. But now, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? You just expose your disguise, right? So if we didn't recognize him before, obviously the face tattoos, but it's like Clark Kent and Superman, right? You can hide in plain sight. If he had kept his original haircut, his original clothes and all that, nobody had an idea what you look like. Why would you tell millions, if not potentially billions of people? Not that billions of people are watching this case, maybe they are, but why would you expose your new look to people? Now everybody knows exactly how you look. And with the bounty being raised, like the crime watchers or crime stoppers, whatever, that phone number that you call to turn them in, it's $50,000. Now, after taxes, it's probably going to be like, what, 30,000, 25,000, whatever. That's life-changing money for somebody. And you just let them know what you look like. You don't think that Instagram is going to hand over absolutely every piece of data they have on it? You don't think Instagram knows when you uploaded it, where you uploaded it? They got geolocation. Or you remember that movie, Enemy of the State with Will Smith? That was like 2002, 2003. That technology was like, what? They can do that? What do you think they can do now? They could find a hair on a fly 2 million miles under the sea. That's how advanced this technology is now, this surveillance is now. We are in a surveillance state. It's not a question of if it is, it's now, it's when. You are in a dystopian era, and you just gave them all the ammunition they needed. So again, any talks of, oh, they did me wrong, judge. They did me dirty, judge. I don't care because you're making fun of me. The judge who passed down this ruling is now being laughed at. Everybody that got involved in the situation is being laughed at. Again, how we should have handled this. His first drop, brilliant, genius, chess move. This shit is not even checkers, bro. This is like fucking one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. This is not smart. Not just smart because you're uploading another post to social media, which is not a good idea. Exposing your new look, which is not a good idea. You can't even hide the fact you don't have a beard anymore. I was like, think about it, right? If I was going out with the information that I had, I'm thinking, Antoine Massey looks like this. He has hair like this. And now I know exactly what you look like. Now, any light-skinned dude with tattoos, everybody's going to be taking not one, not two, but three looks at just to be sure. They're probably going to get a bunch of false leads like, hey, I saw him over here. Okay, fine. But the point is everybody's looking for you now. Not even because they want to turn you in, just because it's like you're a celebrity, right? So he's still kind of tapping into that outlaw bandit on the run, but he lost the moral high ground. That's not what you want to do. You always want to maintain that. So this is not going to go well. What I would like to see, if he could kind of still recover the ball. He fumbled with this one. He fumbled the fuck out of this one. First move, great. Second move, not. It's like one step forward, two steps back. So he chose to go. He had a path to choose, right? Like that meme with like Kermit the Frog with the dark cloak on. You could do one or two things. You could continue your conspiracy drops making people intrigued, getting the people on your side, hell, maybe even getting the law on your side. But now you turn this into some I gotcha in your face sort of shit.